Hi guys and welcome back to Car Focused. Now I just feel like having a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a moan to kind of get you guys involved as well, to gauge your opinion on this subject as well. Basically a bit of a chat, and hopefully you'll get involved in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this matter as well. Now I've been looking for some different content to film lately. I think car YouTube as we know it is kind of dying. I think going out and doing car reviews, it's just been done to death. I'm not interested in new cars anymore. I've covered this on another video. They just don't excite me, and I'd be going out there just driving them for the sake of it. And I'm not the type of person that's going to go out and drive a new car and pretend it's all great just so I can get more work from manufacturers. I like to be honest, and new cars just don't cut the mustard for me. I find them dull, quite boring, especially when you're moving into the EV segment. Anyway, so I've been looking at kind of ideas on what I could do, and something I would like to do is do a bit of a kind of a fixer-upper kind of series. So go out, find cheap cars, tidy them up, and then sell them on. I know it's something that's been done a lot, but I think I just quite enjoy it, and I hopefully wouldn't lose much money out of doing it. Yeah, and it's just something that tickles my fancy really. So a few years ago I bought a couple of dailies really cheap. I bought a Ford Fusion for £350 I think it was. I ran that for about 8 months, and then I had a Mark II Focus Estate as well, which I used. I paid £450 for that. It done about 86,000 miles I think, and I drove that to the Alps. Absolute bargain. 1.8 TDCi, and then you could get cars for that kind of money. You could go out, you could buy a car for less than £1,000 easily, less than £500 pretty easily, and you could get at least a year's motoring out of it, and then at the end of it you could either scrap it or sell it. It's a thing that a lot of people used to do. Now, looking around on the used car market, these bargains just don't exist anymore. It's crazy. So since COVID, as you all know, the used car market has gone bonkers, the new car market has gone bonkers, and the price of cars in general is just silly. You can no longer go out and buy a car for £500 that's got between 50 and 100,000 miles. You know, it's got a year's ticket on it. Now, they're absolute sheds. I found a Mark VI Fiesta for £1,000, done 80 odd thousand miles. I thought, wow, this is actually, you know, a car I could potentially buy and do up. And I was looking at the advert pictures, and lo and behold, at the back of the car had a big shunt, massive dent in it. So yeah, you find something for a reasonable price, and it turns out to be an accident damaged car. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, but you just can't get a bargain anymore. And if you can, it's very, very rare. So filming that kind of a series is just very difficult, and people are quite dubious now as well about buying off the used car market, I think, particularly for higher end sort of vehicles. So this is kind of giving dealers the upper hand. So what they'll do is, so my Cupra, for example, I paid 21,000 for that just over a year ago, and now I'm being offered like 16, 17 trade. So like 3-4 grand depreciation in a year. The car is it's got to be worth 18 and a half on the private market. But nobody is really selling these privately anymore. They're just taking them to dealers, part X them and getting new cars. And it means dealers are offering crap money, and they're putting like a 3 to 4 grand markup on the cars and then selling them again. Obviously selling them with warranty and stuff. So it's kind of making the used private market a bit dead. Well, this is what I think anyway. You know, if you think I'm wrong, then let us know. So they've got a real hold on the market, and it's kind of it's leaving people that want to sell their cars at a disadvantage, if you ask me. So anyway, I just think it's crazy. I think the only way now to potentially make money on cars and film content is to buy crash damaged vehicles, and that's what people are doing now. I unfortunately don't have the expertise and the skills to buy a crash damaged car and fix it all up. I don't have the facilities. I just wanted to buy something like a little 1.2 Fiesta, and maybe do like an ST replica or something like that. I think that'd be quite a cool series, just to buy cheap, low insurance cars and to replicate a higher performance car in the range using second-hand parts from eBay, and going to breakers yards and, you know, pulling interior out of cars from breakers yards and fitting it to the little car that I'd have. And that's something I think would be quite fun. A little bit like what I had with my Focus ST Mark II, where I sourced like a newer steering wheel, a newer driver's seat, and just tidying things up like that. But the problem is, it's just, I don't really think there's much money in it, and I don't really think it's a feasible idea. So yeah, I just wanted to have a little rant about the used car market. It's crazy. I went to look at a 63 plate Ford Mondeo Titanium Export, an estate. So 63 plate, it's 10 years old, Ford Mondeo. The Titanium Exports are quite nice cars, but they are quite dated now. Now, the car, I think it's done 66,000 miles. It's got full service history. Hasn't been MOT'd since, well, the MOT expired in October. It's been sat on the forecourt for so long. Now, how much do you think that'd be worth? Fair average condition, a few scuffs and that on the bodywork. Probably say 6 grand for that, wouldn't you? 6 grand? That's what you'd be thinking. No, it's up for £10,000. 10 grand on a 10-year-old Ford Mondeo with 66,000 miles, with a few scuffs. Looked underneath it, it's got the typical rot all over the subframes. Yeah, I mean, no wonder it's sat on the forecourt for so long, but he won't drop the price because the market is telling him that's the value of the car. Now, I think us as the consumers need to be firm and just stop paying these prices. And I think that's the only way the values of these cars are going to drop to something more reasonable. If we stop buying the cars at that price, then the values will eventually drop. It's like new cars. I don't know how people are spending so much on new cars. Even on finance, the monthlies are insane. Like, I think the new Golf R, if you put 10 grand down as a deposit, I think you're still paying $750 a month, especially with the interest rates now. I mean, £750 a month on a Golf R. It's bonkers. And that totally puts me off new cars, and it makes me grateful to have this car now paid for. And the Cupra, I mean, I would like to, I've been thinking about moving the Cupra on and buying something like a Focus ST diesel estate. I did touch upon it on my last video. But again, the prices for a Focus ST diesel estate, you're looking at around 16 grand from a dealer for a you know, a fairly tidy one. And it would mean I'd have to sell my Cupra privately to try and actually get some half decent money for it, so I'm not being totally ripped off. Because if I trade that in for a car from a dealer, I'm going to lose 1 to 2 grand on the trade-in value, and then I'm going to be paying about 2 grand over what the car's actually worth from a dealer. So I'll be taking like a 3-4 grand hit if you total both of that up. Whereas if I sold the Cupra privately and bought the Focus ST estate privately, I'd be much better off. But nobody's selling them privately. I think there's one for sale privately, and it doesn't look too great. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to jump on here, have a little rant, just, yeah, talk about this. It's just frustrating, the used car market, and I was thinking of some ideas for filming, and yeah, it's just mental. But what do you think about this, guys? How do you think about the used car market? Do you think the price is just overly inflated and it's silly? You're basically paying way too much money for a car that just isn't worth the asking price. Yeah, anyway, got to do a rant every now and then, haven't you? That's it, guys. Get involved in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And until the next video, as always, take care, and I shall see you soon.